Hello there! Have you ever found yourself looking out at your backyard, or even just a sunny windowsill, and thought, I'd love to grow something here? Maybe you've always admired colourful flower beds, or imagined plucking fresh tomatoes right from your own plant, but you're just not sure where to start. Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to walk through how to create a garden that's not only manageable, but downright enjoyable, no matter your experience level or how many candles were on your last birthday cake. Now, you might be thinking, gardening sounds lovely, but isn't it a lot of bending and heavy lifting? Let me tell you a secret. It doesn't have to be. Gardening is one of those rare joys that adapts to you. Whether you're tending to a single windowsill herb or a whole backyard oasis, it's about moving at your own pace, soaking up the sunshine, and feeling that little spark of pride when something you've planted starts to grow. And trust me, that feeling never gets old. So let's start with the basics, the things that'll make your gardening journey smoother and more comfortable. First up, tools. Now, I'm not talking about fancy gadgets or back-breaking shovels. Think lightweight and ergonomic. A good pair of pruners with a cushioned grip, a hand trowel that fits snugly in your palm, and maybe a long-handled weeder so you don't have to bend over. Oh, and don't forget a kneeler pad or a sturdy garden stool. Your knees will thank you later. Now, these might seem optional, but a solid pair of gloves is a game changer. They'll keep your hands clean, protect your skin from thorns, and give you a better grip on tools. Look for ones with stretchy fabric and rubber palms. They're like a second skin, but tougher. Once you've got your tools sorted, the next question is, what should you grow? Let's keep it simple. Start with plants that practically take care of themselves. Marigolds and pansies are cheerful, hardy flowers that bloom all season. For veggies, cherry tomatoes are a winner. They're sweet, grow quickly, and thrive in pots. Herbs like basil, mint, or rosemary. Perfect for small spaces and instant flavour in the kitchen. The key is to pick a few things you love and focus on those. No need to turn this into a part-time job. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't have a big garden? Here's the beauty of it. You don't need one. A few pots on a balcony, a windowsill planter, or even a hanging basket can become your garden. My friend Margaret started with a single pot of lavender on her apartment porch. Now she's got a mini jungle that smells like a French countryside. It's all about working with what you've got. Before we dive into setting up your garden space, let's take a breath. Gardening isn't a race. If you need to sit while you plant, sit. If you want to start with one pot instead of 10, do it. This is your journey, and there's no such thing as a perfect garden. Just like us, gardens get better with time. A little messy, full of character, and always growing. So grab your tools, pick a plant or two that makes you smile, and let's get our hands in the soil. In the next part, we'll talk about finding the perfect spot for your garden, whether it's a sunny corner, a raised bed, or a collection of pots that you can rearrange like living artwork. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be wondering why you didn't start sooner. Now that we've got our tools ready and a few plants in mind, let's talk about finding the perfect spot for your garden. You know, it's a bit like an estate agent's. Location, location, location. But don't worry, we're not digging into anything complicated here. Just a little sunshine, a little convenience, and a whole lot of joy. First things first, sunlight. Most plants adore a good dose of sunshine, but not all of them need to bake in it all day. Think of it like us. Some folks love lounging in the sun, while others prefer a bit of shade. Herbs like basil and rosemary, they're sun worshippers. Leafy greens like spinach or lettuce, they'll happily thrive in partial shade. So take a day to notice how the light moves across your space. Does your balcony get morning sun but afternoon shade? Perfect for pansies. Does your windowsill stay bright all day? Ideal for that cherry tomato plant. Now let's talk about accessibility. If bending down isn't your favourite activity, and let's be honest, whose is? Raised beds or elevated planters are your best friends. They're easier on the back, and you can even build or buy them at a height that lets you garden while sitting comfortably. My neighbour George built his raised bed on legs so he could tend to his peppers without ever leaving his stool. Genius, right? And if you're working with a small space, pots are wonderfully flexible. You can group them on a rolling cart, hang them from a railing, or even stack them on shelves. The trick is to keep everything within easy reach. No ladder climbing required. Safety first, always. All right, let's get our hands dirty, figuratively for now. The next step is soil. Now, I know dirt might not sound exciting, but it's the secret sauce of gardening. Good soil means happy plants. For containers, skip the heavy garden dirt and grab a bag of potting mix. It's lighter, drains better, and already has nutrients mixed in. And here's a tip: toss in a handful of compost or worm castings. It's like giving your plants a vitamin boost. If you're feeling adventurous, try making your own compost. It's easier than you think. Save coffee grounds, eggshells, and veggie scraps in a small bin under the sink. Mix them with dried leaves or shredded paper, let nature do its thing, and voila, you've got black gold for your garden. My friend Clara started composting last year, and now her roses are the envy of the neighbourhood. Now let's talk about potting on. Fancy talk for moving seedlings to bigger homes. If you start plants from seeds, they'll eventually outgrow their tiny pots. Look for roots peeking out of the drainage holes or leaves that seem cramped. Gently loosen the soil, settle them into a larger container, and give them a drink. It's like upgrading from a studio apartment to a cozy cottage. And here's a little secret: plants are resilient. If you're nervous about transplanting, just remember, they want to grow. Talk to them, cheer them on. I swear my courgettes perk up when I hum a tune nearby. Not that I've tested this scientifically, but why risk it? Now let's address the elephant in the room, watering. It's simple, but it's easy to overthink. Stick your finger about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. If it's damp, hold off. Early morning is best, so the plants have time to drink before the sun gets too hot. And if you're worried about forgetting, try a watering can that lives right next to your favourite chair. Out of sight, out of mind, until it's in sight, in mind. Oh, and if lifting heavy watering cans is a struggle, opt for a lightweight one or use a small jug. You can even repurpose an old plastic milk bottle. Poke holes in the lid for a DIY sprinkler. Gardening is all about creativity, not perfection. By now, you've got the spot, the soil, and the know-how to keep your plants quenched. Next, we'll roll up our sleeves and dive into planting. How to arrange your garden for beauty and bounty, troubleshoot common hiccups, and celebrate those first sprouts. Trust me, there's nothing like the thrill of seeing something you've nurtured push through the soil and say, "Hello, world." And here we are, friends, ready to turn all that preparation into something alive. Whether you've got your pots arranged, your soil prepped, or you're just dreaming with a seed catalogue in your lap, today's the day we make it real. Let's talk about planting, problem solving, and, most importantly, celebrating every little victory. First, let's tackle arranging your garden. Think of it like setting a dinner table. You want everyone to have enough space, light, and good company. Tall plants like sunflowers or trellised beans go at the back of a bed or the north side of pots so they don't shade their shorter neighbours. Herbs and flowers, sprinkle them in between veggies. Marigolds aren't just pretty, they're like bouncers, keeping pests away from your tomatoes. And basil next to peppers, they're best friends. Really, plants have social lives too. Don't be afraid to play around. Move pots until the arrangement feels right. My first year, I shuffled my lavender 3 times before it found its happy place. Gardening's like that, part science, part art, all heart. And if something doesn't work, no harm done. Last summer I accidentally planted courgettes too close to my cucumbers. Let's just say we had enough for the whole street. Note to self, courgettes are ambitious. Now let's talk about troubleshooting. Even the most seasoned gardeners face hiccups. See leaves turning yellow? Could be too much water or not enough. Drooping stems. Maybe they're thirsty or sunburned. The key is to observe. Plants whisper what they need if we're paying attention. And if you're stuck, take a photo and ask a fellow gardener. Doris from our local garden group once diagnosed my rosemary's sadness as, well, needing better drainage. Turns out rosemary hates wet feet. For pests, try nature's remedies first. A spray of soapy water knocks aphids right off. Ladybirds are freelancers that'll munch on mites for free. And if a plant's really struggling, it's okay to let it go. Gardening teaches us grace, not guilt. Every oops is just a lesson for next time. Now, the moment we've been waiting for, those first sprouts. There's magic in seeing something you've nurtured break through the soil. It's a quiet thank you, isn't it? Take photos, keep a journal, or just sit with your morning coffee and admire them. I still text my daughter pictures of every new bloom. She calls it my plant spam, but I know she secretly loves it. Remember, growth takes time. Plants don't rush, and neither should we. If your tomatoes are slow or your basil's bashful, give them, and yourself, patience. Gardening isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, tending to life, and finding joy in the process. Some days that might mean rearranging pots. Others it's just sitting in the shade, watching bees bob from flower to flower. Both count. So let's recap. We've gathered our tools, found our spot, chosen our plants, and given them a home. We've learned to listen when they're thirsty, adjust when they're cramped, and cheer when they thrive. But really, this isn't just about gardens. It's about us. It's about finding purpose in small daily acts. About feeling connected to the earth and to each other. Every time you water, weed, or wander through your green space, you're not just growing plants, you're growing yourself. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's growing in your garden? A windowsill herb? A flower that reminds you of your grandmother? Share your stories in the comments. We're all here to learn and cheer each other on. And if you found this helpful, pass it along to a friend who might need a little green inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. We've got so much more to explore together. Composting, seasonal blooms, even DIY garden crafts. How about trying to paint your new blooms? Maybe check out this video.